Hello everyone, I am Be Better Gamer and welcome to Be Better Gamer Wrestling, my YouTube channel where I focus on Let's Plays of WWF No Mercy, WCW NW Revenge, and Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, and recently WWE 2K16. If this is your first time watching, please, thank you for watching me. And I'm going to be talking about in this episode NXT Takeover London, which is the next NXT Takeover event. Which, if you are signed up to the WWE network and you are not watching NXT, and I know you're out there, I know you're out there because I know people personally who have the WWE network and don't watch NXT. And honestly, all you people, you're doing it wrong. I love you guys because you watch wrestling and you signed up to the WWE network, but you're doing it wrong. So I just want to get that out of the way. Watch NXT Takeover London, and if you're watching this, you're probably gonna watch it anyway, right? But I'm playing WWE 2K16, just got it for the Xbox 360, and I wanted to talk about what's gonna happen, my predictions, my analysis, and much like my TLC 2015, I should say, predictions video, I'm going to be playing some matches from WWE 2K16. Originally, I wanted to do matches with everyone who's going to be at NXT Takeover London, but they only have half of the people that's on the card in the game. Actually, every match pretty much only has one person in the card. So instead, I am playing matches from NXT Takeover Arrival. They have the NXT Takeover Arrival arena in the game. That was the very first NXT special that they aired live on the WWE network before WrestleMania 30. You know, WrestleMania 30 was the big WWE pay-per-view, the first one they aired live. But the first live event was NXT TakeOver Arrival. That was the first NXT show I saw ever. I had just started getting back into wrestling, and I had heard of NXT, but the WWE Network is really what got me back into watching wrestling. Much like I used to. I took a few years off just because of life in general. I just wasn't watching it as I used to. But because of the network, I've been watching wrestling almost as much as I used to, watching all types of wrestling, not just WWE. But NXT is probably what's been keeping me going with WWE. Not probably, I say it is what's been keeping me going. I was hooked from the get-go from NXT Arrival. And the first match on that card was Cesaro against Sami Zayn. So that's what you're seeing here right now. I'm playing as Cesaro, and it's really funny. Like the roster, they don't have Samoa Joe yet. He's actually going to be DLC. Samoa Joe is going to take on Finn Balor for the NXT Championship. Finn Balor is a champion. Finn Balor's in the game, but not Samoa Joe. You're going to have the women's title being put up. Bayley, the champion, against Nia Jax. There was a lot of controversy when WWE 2K16 came out because the four horsewomen of NXT, Bayley, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Sasha Banks weren't included in the game. So a lot of people were very upset by that. I as well was very disappointed, especially because I feel like they've been around long enough that they should have been included in the game, but who knows why they weren't included. Maybe they had something to do with development. Maybe they wanted to save them for 2K17. I mean, you always got to be looking to the future, right? You always got to be looking to, or maybe it was just they were in that transitional flux. They didn't know where they should put them, if they should put them, if their gimmicks were going to change when they went up to Raw, if they should keep them how they were in NXT. It's tricky when you're building rosters. I mean, even the NXT, even this roster for 2K16 already kind of feels outdated. I mean, there's a lot of people in WWE right now that aren't in this game. So who knows the real reason as to why they weren't included, but can't do that match because of that. What else we got? We got the Tag Team Championship match. Dash and Dawson, the tag team champions, they're not in this game, but Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore are. Apollo Crews versus Baron Corbin. Apollo Crews just recently showed up at NXT right before the Brooklyn Takeover event. He's not in the game, but Baron Corbin is. And Asuka versus Emma. Asuka recently debuted after NXT Takeover Brooklyn, and she debuted at Brooklyn, right? I don't remember. and she's taking on Emma, and Emma's in this game, but she's still Emma, the old, popping bubbles Emma. She's not cool heel Emma that she is now in NXT, so very different. But nonetheless, I wanted to have these matches play in the background while I talk about the upcoming takeover event over in London and what I think is going to happen. And since, we got Sami Zayn here, he's not on the card, but they've been previewing his return, I should say, not at NXT Takeover, but sometime soon. I mean, every week at the past, NXT shows they've been showing on the network. They've been showing these short little promo clips about Sami Zayn's return, his highlights. They showed this match, him against Cesaro, his rivalry with Cesaro, his climb to the championship, his feud with, not Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens. So they've been building up Sami Zayn. They showed him when he showed up on Raw. And Sami Zayn, he lost the title to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens attacked him a year ago around this time at the NXT Takeover special. And when Kevin Owens made his debut, and that reignited their rivalry from the Indies when it was Kevin Steen against El Generico, and Kevin Owens took the title from Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn never got it back because Sami Zayn, he went to Raw briefly during that feud. He went to Raw, fought John Cena, got hurt in that match, hurt his shoulder, went out for injury, and now he's coming back. Is he coming back at London? What is he going to do at London? He's not going to attack anyone, right? If he comes out in London, he'll probably just like, hey guys, I'm back, and I'm going to get the NXT Championship. I think he's going to, like I mentioned briefly in my TLC 2015 predictions video where I did Ambrose versus Kevin Owens. I think it'd be really cool if Sami Zayn showed up at that match and ruined Kevin Owens' match, forcing him to come back to NXT and have them finish their feud in NXT. I think that would be great. We definitely need to finish that story. I mean, obviously they can always just keep doing that story in WWE, so who knows what direction they'll go with. But I think Sami Zayn, I think Sami Zayn might make an appearance at TakeOver London. Maybe they'll show him in the crowd. Maybe he will cut a promo. Sami Zayn, there's going to be something about Sami Zayn at London. Just in what capacity? His big beef is with Kevin Owens. So Kevin Owens is on TLC unless they just ignore it. But NXT has been really good about reminding us about the history of NXT, so I don't think they're going to ignore it. I think they're going to mention it. So maybe he'll attack Kevin Owens at TLC, hop on a plane, go to London, and then maybe Owens will follow him. And that'll be great, right? So first match is done. I destroyed Sami Zayn with with Cesaro. Coming up, we're doing the Paige versus Emma NXT Women's Championship. At this time, at Arrival, Paige was the longest reigning women's champion, the first NXT women's champion, winning it in a tournament. And she never lost the title. She made her debut the night after WrestleMania 30 on Raw, beat AJ Lee, and then she vacated her NXT Women's Championship. So she never actually lost the NXT Women's Championship. Emma was on the main roster, came back down to NXT, became a heel along with Dana Brooke. They got a great team going. And now she's caught up in a feud with Asuka. Asuka, famous female wrestler from Japan. She was known as Kana over there in Japan, and Asuka is just gonna destroy her. I mean, I don't see Emma winning this match, as compelling as they are as a heel tag team or a heel like mini faction, if you will. The combined efforts of Dana Brooke and Emma isn't going to be enough. I want to see Asuka win. I'm pretty sure Asuka's going to win because Asuka is probably the most legitimate contender to the NXT Women's title. Hell, she could probably even go for the World Heavyweight title, the NXT Championship. I'd see Asuka take on Finn Balor. She could probably kick his butt a little bit. She's deadly, man. She's got those grapples, those submission holds, those strikes. I mean, they've been doing that stuff in Japan, the women's division, for years. Okay, so it's nothing new if you've been following that, but it's fresh in NXT because there's no other female competitor who wrestles in that style. There's no men really who wrestles in a style. Unfortunately, Hideo Itami got hurt early on, so we haven't been able to see him unleash his fury and how good he is. But Asuka is gonna destroy Emma, and that's gonna get her moving on to the NXT Women's Championship, which I think she will get a shot probably at the next Takeover event. And who's gonna be the champion at that point? It's gonna be interesting. Nia Jax versus Bayley for the NXT Women's Championship. Anything can happen in this match. It could go both ways. This is the match I'm probably most excited to see how they're gonna finish it, if you will. I was so into the Bayley Eva Marie match. I was like on the edge of my seat, like, oh my god. Are they going to take the title away from Bayley? Is Eva Marie going to really do this? Like, it was nuts. I was so invested in it. Great storytelling in the ring. Say what you will about Eva Marie as a performer, her athleticism, whatever, but she's great at being that heel you want to hate and you don't want to see win. But Nia Jax is her muscle, and Nia Jax, I mean, how's Bayley going to beat Nia Jax? That's what I want to see. How is Bayley going to overcome Nia Jax? I love Bayley's story as the NXT Women's Champion and all the hardships she had to go through to get to there. But let's be honest, she had to basically learn how to wrestle on the level of Charlotte to beat Charlotte. She had to learn how to turn on that intensity and that almost killer instinct in order to beat Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch, okay? And she did that, but she hasn't been challenged. No women in NXT have been challenged by the force that is Nia Jax. I mean, just look at her. And they're building her up as this unstoppable force, and it's the classic story. It's Sting Vader. That's what it is. Okay, how is Bayley gonna take down this monster that is Nia Jax? She threw her through a door the other on the other episode of NXT. Bayley's really gonna belly to Bayley her. Like, I think it's very compelling. It's gonna add yet another layer to Bayley's character as this fighting champion. And honestly, I would like to see Nia Jax win, just so we can keep the feud going, keep growing Bayley's character as that fighting champion. I mean, look at Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, he won his championship, finally won it after all that hardship. He loses it to Kevin Owens right away. Just first title match, loses it to Kevin Owens. Did that make you stop liking Sami Zayn? No. It made you hunger for him more. That's why everyone's so crazy about him coming back. You want to see your champion overcome hardship and prove why they were champion in the first place, and you become a great champion by showing how you can recover from your loss. And I think Bayley losing to Nia Jax is going to be like, well, how do I beat someone like that? How do I beat someone who outclasses me, not just by wrestling ability, but by just sheer size and will and force? Nia Jax is super hungry. Nia Jax isn't going to be that side character to an Eva Marie. She's not going to try to win the championship for Eva Marie when she could crush Eva Marie. So why is she going to just stand aside and let Eva Marie take what's hers? And I think that's going to be a compelling angle of that storyline as well, because if Nia Jax wins the title, you better believe Eva Marie is not going to be too happy. So, or at least maybe want her to give it over to her. So it's going to be interesting. And I'm very excited to see what direction. I mean, if Bayley wins, great. If Bayley wins, awesome. Maybe they'll have another rematch, keep it going. Bayley has a great rogues gallery right now. And but Asuka, I think, is going to be the next contender for that title. And within, a few months, maybe at the next takeover, she's going to probably be fighting for that title. And it's going to be interesting to see if she goes up against Bayley or Nia Jax, because I feel like right now those are the two other women in NXT that honestly are the NXT champions. I don't know if anyone right now can be put in that position. I mean, Carmella could probably get there eventually. I don't think she's there yet. Alexa Bliss definitely could be a great heel champion. But again, I don't think she's just there yet. So Nia Jax, Bayley, throw in Asuka later on down the line. It's going to be great. The NXT women matches never disappoint. All the NXT Takeover matches never disappoint. Again, if you haven't watched an NXT Takeover event and you're still listening to me, if you're still with me here, I'm glad you are, because I do this for you. Watch the takeover. Watch all the past takeovers. If you saw like Brooklyn and Brooklyn turned you on to watching London, or Respect turned you on to watching London, watch all the other ones. Start from Arrival. They never disappoint. There's always a match that ends up being like a match of the year candidate. And you know, the women's matches, Bayley and Sasha Banks, their last two takeover matches have been match of the year candidates, and I'm excited to see what direction they're going. And I think there's a lot of potential for Nia Jax to make a huge impact in NXT, and then hopefully later on down in the main roster. So after that, we have, well, I don't know exactly the lineup of the matches, but I'm going to talk about Apollo Crews versus Baron Corbin right now. And Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin, you know, this could go either way. I kind of want to see Baron Corbin win, only because I feel like he keeps getting built as this heel, as this, you know, not unstoppable, but like this, you know, tough, rugged heel. And I was surprised he lost to Samoa Joe, but I guess that made sense because Samoa Joe now is fighting for the championship. So, and you know, they were probably planting the seeds from his heel turn at that moment. So it only makes sense in retrospect. I thought Baron Corbin was going to be the challenger for the title, and I would like to see him get to that point already, only because I'm really interested in his journey as a heel. He's not afraid to be bad, which is something I feel like a lot of wrestlers today aren't good at when they're heels. You know, they're kind of, they want to be cool. And I think Baron Corbin was originally introduced as this cool badass guy, but when he started opening his mouth, he got so cocky and arrogant, but it comes from a place of honesty. It's like, man, he does not care about people. He does not care about us. He's in it for himself. And I like that. We need heels like that. We need people to boo. Just straight up boo. And Baron Corbin is someone you want to, you know, boo. You want to yell at him. Like, you suck. He doesn't suck, though. He's great in the ring. Apollo Crews is fantastic. Apollo Crews is going to be champion one day. If he loses to Baron Corbin, that's just going to keep the feud going. And I think that'll add a layer to Apollo Crews' you know, journey as to why he should be champion. I mean, he came in, stud, superstar, just like when Finn Balor came in. It's like, just give this guy the title. So Apollo Crews, but I like to see another layer there. I like to see that hard work, you know, dedication, determination really come through. You know, he's got this, it's funny because he's got this cockiness and this arrogance, but it's kind of the opposite of the way Baron Corbin carries himself. Baron Corbin carries himself with his cockiness and arrogance, and it makes you want to hate him. Apollo Crews carries himself in such a way that's similar, you know, with his arrogance and confidence, but it makes you love him. So it's interesting to see that, you know, side of him, and I would like to see that displayed a little bit more. And honestly, I feel like it'll come out if he, you know, takes some big losses. It's not going to hurt him if he loses to Baron Corbin. If anything, it's just going to show how competitive these two can be, and it's gonna make us really want to see Apollo Crews prove himself, because he had that great match with Finn Balor. It looked like it could go either way. Baron Corbin interrupted it. And if Baron Corbin beats Apollo Crews, it makes you wonder, oh wait, maybe Apollo Crews doesn't have what it takes. You know, how is he gonna bounce back? Maybe he underestimated himself. You know, because we gotta find something human to root for. You know, it's much more interesting when you watch a guy who you know is good, who you know is great, and then they lose, and it's like, oh wow, like he's human, like the rest of us. Like, you know, he's not just gonna walk in and win it, because what's so exciting about that? So I would like to see Baron Corbin win, just so we can keep the Apollo Crews story interesting for his rise to becoming NXT champion. I think the Apollo Crews Finn Balor rematch is gonna happen eventually. I would like to see us wait for it a little bit longer. because I think Finn Balor is walking out as champion. Speaking of champion, I'm starting the Adrian Neville Bo Dallas match from NXT Arrival. Bo Dallas at the time was the longest reigning NXT champion, holding it for 280 days. He was the third NXT champion, beating Biggie Langston. And Adrian Neville would beat him NXT Arrival, spoilers, and he would hold the title for 287 days. So he would hold it 1 week longer than Bo Dallas did, which was kind of cool. Bo Dallas, oh man, I don't even want to get into it. That's a whole nother episode. But yeah, before I talk about the NXT Championship, actually, let me talk about the Tag Team Championship. So you got Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy against Dash and Dawson. I want to see Dash and Dawson win only because I feel like the past several, pretty much every NXT Tag Team Champion since the Ascension, I feel like they've all been transitional champions. The Lucha Dragons had it for a little bit, but I was like, all right, they're only getting it to lose it to Blake and Murphy. But when Blake and Murphy won it, it was like, all right, they're probably just going to lose it to the Vaudevillains, and they did. And then Vaudevillains had it, it's like, yeah, it's kind of cool. They got the title, but Dash and Dawson quickly became almost out of nowhere. They became the best tag team to hate in NXT. They used to come out not interested in them at all, and now all of a sudden, within several short months, right around actually the Dusty Classic, I was like, these guys are great. I love them. They're great heels, and we need a top heel tag team. We don't really have one right now, and they need to assert their dominance. They need to be a threat. They need to be dangerous, and I think that's what they got going for them. Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy are definitely going into NXT Takeover London with a fire lit under them that you haven't seen before. I mean, they've kind of been fun games for a while, but now you're starting to see that mean streak. But I don't think they should get it just yet. I think they should keep fighting for it. I think the struggle, like that's what I like to see, and I think that's what makes a lot of the NXT baby faces work so well, is because it's not an easy journey for them. That they struggle to get to the top. Sami Zayn, Bayley, they just can't win the big one. I think Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy fit that bill. They're a great tag team, but there's and they seem like on paper they should run through people, but they don't. They just don't win the big one. I would like to see that here. And then when they finally get the title, it's a very euphoric thing. But I think Dash and Dawson should hold on to the title because I want to see a much longer reign on a tag team, champions where it feels like it means something and it feels like they're going somewhere with it. I think Dash and Dawson would be a great matchup for when Jordan and Gable challenge for the titles, because I think Jordan and Gable are pretty much next in line to challenge for the titles, and I'm much more interested to see that match than Jordan and Gable against Enzo and Cass, even though Enzo and Cass and Jordan and Gable are probably going to put on a killer match because they've been tearing it up apparently in the live circuit. So I don't doubt that would be a good feud too, but I don't know, there's just something about, Dash and Dawson got this old school Ole Anderson and Arn Anderson vibe, and to see them go up against Chad Gable, who's the second coming of Kurt Angle, and Jason Jordan, I think that's gonna be magic, man. And I think that would be a great little feud you can have that keeps the title competitive, but it also will help when Enzo and Cass come back for it and help put them in that same spotlight that they deserve the title. So I want to see Dash and Dawson go over. Not knocking Enzo and Cass. I just think let's just save it. Let's just wait a little bit longer for them to win, because I think it'll mean much more when they finally do. So now we got the NXT Championship match, which I'm looking forward to, which I think will be the best match of the night. I mean, every NXT match is great, usually, at the NXT Arrival shows, and I feel like every NXT Arrival card has been better than the last. But I really do think, this is the dream match, okay? This is Prince Devitt versus Samoa Joe. they've never fought, at least to my knowledge, right? They've never fought before in a high stakes match. So this Samoa Joe and Tommaso Ciampa went full Ring of Honor a few weeks ago, and full strong style. They were beating the crap out of each other at that NXT taping, and I think that was just a preview of the Samoa Joe we're gonna get in his match against Finn Balor. And Finn Balor is no slouch, man. This is a New Japan, IWGP New Japan Junior Heavyweight Champion. Okay, the Demon's gonna be in full effect. They're going to kick the crap out of each other. They're going to slap the crap out of each other. It's going to be a great physical match. I think it's going to show a different side of Finn Balor we haven't seen, which is a Finn Balor that can take punishment, a Finn Balor that can be challenged physically, because that's what made him so great in Japan. And honestly, he hasn't been challenged like that in NXT. He's just been pretty much out wrestling and out, high flying people. And if Hideo Itami didn't get injured as quickly as he did, I really do believe Hideo Itami would have brought that out of Finn Balor, which is probably the direction they wanted to go in. And honestly, I think Finn Balor is gonna win only because Samoa Joe's mark in the WWE isn't going to be in NXT. It's going to be on the main roster. I think Samoa Joe is going to debut after WrestleMania, and he's going to make a big impact. He's going to make a big splash. I don't know what the short-term or long-term game plan would be if you put the title on Samoa Joe. Not like saying it would be a bad thing. I just think that there's still so much more mileage you can get with Finn Balor as the NXT champion, because Finn Balor too, when he shows up on the main roster, it's going to be a big deal, and I think he's going to be pushed to the forefront very quickly. So I don't know, it could go both ways. I mean, I think it'd be a huge upset, honestly, if Samoa Joe won. I wouldn't be upset. I think it'd be great, but I'd also think it'd be great if Finn Balor won. I would like to see Finn Balor win because whoever wins the Apollo Crews Baron Corbin match is going to challenge for the title. Seeing Apollo Crews against Finn Balor doing that rematch, that'll be great to see. Baron Corbin getting his chance to shine against Finn Balor and giving Finn Balor another heel to work against is going to be great for Finn Balor. Samoa Joe, I mean, they could do a rematch. Samoa Joe can get his chance again. Maybe something will happen in this match where he wins, but, maybe Finn Balor steals one from him. Maybe Samoa Joe will show that the Demon is human in this match. Maybe he won't beat him, but he'll get him to the brink. And that would show how great Samoa Joe is. You can't just outright, flat out beat the Demon. I think you got to break the Demon down, okay, in order to keep that Demon character working. Because if Finn Balor loses now as the Demon, I think it's slowly over time, those losses as a Demon have to be so specific and mean so much so that when they happen, it's believable. It's not just like, oh, so if someone's as tough as Samoa Joe, they can beat him. You know what I mean? It's got to be a little bit more personal. And I think the Samoa Joe Finn Balor feud, it's great. And Samoa Joe is really making it a very personal feud for himself, but I don't see that personal aspect from Finn Balor's side. Here's my theory. I think Finn Balor's first loss as the Demon is going to be from Hideo Itami. And it should be from Hideo Itami. You know why? Because here's my theory, okay? Super fantasy booking, predicting I don't even know how many takeovers in advance. But I think Finn Balor is the one who attacked Hideo Itami. That's right. I said it. Your hero, Finn Balor. That demon can't all be good. You know what I mean? He's got to have a mean streak there. And I think Hideo Itami, when he returns, it's going to be revealed that it was Finn Balor who did it. So that's why I kind of want to see Finn Balor as the champion, because I want to see him become the champion, stay the champion until Hideo Itami returns. But, again, going back to the beginning, Sami Zayn, Sami Zayn's story with the championship isn't over. Or is it? Who knows? Maybe his story in NXT ends with Kevin Owens and he doesn't go back for the championship. You can't keep Sami Zayn in NXT forever. You got to bring them up. All these guys, I mean, after WrestleMania, I think all these guys are ready to go up. I'm ready to see them now, but now's not the time to bring them up. There's just There's just so much stuff happening right now that it'd just be kind of a waste, and it'd be kind of overcrowded if you brought all of them up. But you know, there's Adrian Neville holding the NXT Championship. Who's gonna hold the NXT Championship at Takeover? I gave you my predictions, told you what I thought. Let me know what you thought. Another thing real quick that I'm really excited about this NXT Takeover London is that it's gonna be at 3 o'clock Eastern, which is great because now I can watch. I'm totally gonna watch it at work. That's another great thing about having the WWE Network. So if you don't have the WWE Network and you watch this video, you better be watching. You better subscribe and watch NXT Takeover. If you have the WWE Network and you watch NXT Takeover and all the NXT shows, let me know what you think. Who you think is gonna win? What matches you're looking forward to? I'll definitely do a follow-up post to this and my TLC predictions video, probably a week after TLC, just so I can have enough time to digest both TLC 2015 and NXT Takeover London. So I hope you like this video. Check out my WWF No Mercy Let's Plays, my Revenge Let's Plays, Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube jazz. And yeah, thanks for watching. Keep watching wrestling, and I will see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.